Anglers Extra.
I'm Aaron Canada on the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network alongside John Schiffner. And a day off for real yesterday, and everybody coming back off of a day of rest and that big walk-off win the other night. Things are rolling along quite nicely for the Anglers.
I'm very pleased the way things are going. One thing about, and sometimes, it's lost and everything, these kids don't quit. They don't like to lose. And, an indication of 5 walk-off wins. We execute when we need to execute late in the games. We get the things done and, clutch hitting when we need it. It's kind of fun. But one thing we have to understand is that, why don't we get business done a little earlier so we can, finish the game in 9 innings and not have to worry about, the late inning heroics. They're fun, but let's get it over with early.
It certainly makes things exciting for the fans and the players and the coaches and for us as well. And you talked about how last season you guys got off to a very quick start, but there were games that you won that you maybe shouldn't have won. Right. Now there are games that, you get down early, but you're never really out of it.
Right now, that's the way we're playing. But let's try to stay away from getting down early, and let's get on top of somebody early. I would really like to see that happen. But there's no complaints. The one thing that you want your kids to do is to be in every game. You always ask your team to try to, in the last at bat, to try to get the tying run to the plate or the winning run to the plate, and we've done that quite often. Even in some of the games that we've lost, we've made late inning runs or we've been in that position. And again, that indicates these kids, they don't like to lose. They want to win the baseball game, and I think that's a fabulous attitude to have.
In Harwich tonight to take on the Mariners. Last time we will come to Harwich, then the rest of the time we see them, they come to Chatham. And we've talked about the scheduling before, and we're already through our only 3 road games at Harwich, and we've yet to see YD.
Right. It's different. I just don't think it was edited really well. I don't think somebody looked at the schedule. I think it was handed out. People looked at it and said, okay, and off we go. And, there should be some things that should have been looked at, but it's not a big deal. Fortunately, we don't have horrible road trips. It's funny. You go, oh, we got to go to Wareham. Yeah, it's a 45-minute ride, 50-minute ride. It's not like these poor guys in the North Woods League, the New England Collegiate League, making 4 or 5-hour trips. So, in perspective, it isn't all that big of a deal. But there were certain things that really should have been looked at. Like I said, Falmouth comes to us twice in 4 days. We don't play YD until July 12th, and then we play them 5 times in 8 days or 9 days or something like that. And little things like that. And we've talked to some of the other coaches, and they all have their own personal little pet peeves the way the schedule came out. But again, it isn't that big a deal, thank God, because the travel is relatively easy.
Do you think it's a good thing, though? I mean, Brewster and YD being at the top of the Eastern Division, and we've seen Brewster a couple of times now, and we know what they've got. But with YD, they're off to such a hot start, but we haven't seen them yet. I would think that benefits the team a little bit both ways.
It really, again, everybody knows everybody's pretty good. There's not a bad team in the Cape Cod League. There's not a great team in the Cape Cod League. We're all very, very close to one another. As you see, the last place teams are beating the first place teams. So it's every night you're going to have a real good team no matter who you're facing. You're going to face a quality pitcher every night and a quality lineup every night. So it's, it really does not matter. But again, there are quirks. And going another quirk, Coach Engler was just saying that they haven't seen Brewster yet and won't see them for another week. So it's but again, it's not that there's a lot worse things out there. So we're okay with that.
The College World Series got wrapped up the other night. South Carolina walking away with their first baseball championship in school history, and now we should see the players rolling in: Amaral and Goodell and Larson and Pohl. Have you heard anything from those guys as of late?
Pohl arrived today. Larson arrived the other day. Larson was up and ready to go. Phillip arrived this afternoon. Goodell and Amaral are allegedly on the same flight on Monday, so we're really, really pleased with getting all of our guys in town, and that's great. And God, I couldn't have been happier for Whit Merrifield. That was spectacular, and I had an opportunity to talk to him the next day, and that was just so neat to see a guy that's one of yours, so to speak, a Chatham Angler out there who got the game-winning hit in the championship game. That was pretty sweet, and couldn't be happier for Whit. And ironically, I coached his dad in 1982, so that was neat for the family. So I'm really, really happy for everybody there in South Carolina. Of course, I've known Ray Tanner and Chad Holbrook for decades, and they're great people. And hats off to John Savage and his UCLA people. They had a fabulous year as well, and it was a tough. No, I couldn't root for anybody in that World Series. I just think the world of the staffs. They're just great people.
Elaborate on that a bit more, if you will, talking about, knowing these guys who get the big things done on big stages, but, being in the Cape League for so long, you've gotten to know quite a few people, and seeing them do certain things over the course of their careers and go on to grander stages. I mean, I can't imagine how cool that is.
It's fantastic. I've watched John Savage go from a volunteer assistant at Nevada Reno to one of the top pitching coaches in the country at Southern Cal, to a highly successful job done at Cal Irvine, now at UCLA. I remember when Ray was back at North Carolina State. Chad Holbrook, his top assistant, played for me in 1992. Just those guys. But there's so many guys out there. It's been quite a ride to see ex-players or people who have moved up the ranks and are doing so well. Mick Aoki, I remember Mick as a young assistant coach. Now he's the head coach of Boston College. I can just keep naming them, and it's fabulous. It's been a great ride for me, let alone for those guys.
Now, we've gotten to see the Mariners a couple of times now, and as mentioned, this will be the third and final time we see them here in Harwich. And now that you've gotten a chance to see this lineup and what they can throw at you, what should we see tonight?
A tough game. I mean, that's a good club. They swing the bat very, very well. We count ourselves lucky we beat them once because they're talented. They have a lot of talent in the lineup. They got some power arms throughout the pitching staff. It's going to be, like I keep saying all the time, it's a battle every night. You can't there's no gimmies. There are no gimmies. You just got to go out every night and play real hard because they're doing the same thing. And Steve doesn't like to lose, and Steve wants to see his team get a shot at making the playoffs, and he's going to tell his kids that, and we're going to try to tell our kids the same thing.
Now, as a manager now, a healthy amount of games into the season, do you get an idea of who you don't want to see? Not necessarily from a team perspective, but say there's a pitcher that you hope you can avoid or batter that you hope has a day off when you go to see him?
Yeah, all of them. They're all too darn good. I mean, this staff especially, they're loaded with power arms. They're bat breakers and everything else. I mean, they're very, very good. And but every night it's like I said, there's no gimmies. It's like I think I mentioned the other day, you get to a college series, you're playing game 3 or game 4, you're getting the back end of that staff. There's no back ends of these staffs. These guys, you're getting probably the 1, 2, 3 starters, the top middle guy, and the top closers from all over the country, all centered in this little tiny island here. And it's I call it the Cape Cod League is the great equalizer. If you can come out of the Cape Cod League and you can hit close to 250, or you get a couple wins as a pitcher and your ERA is pretty good, you got a shot at going somewhere in pro baseball because that's how competitive and difficult this league is.
Now, something we've talked about on the broadcast and among ourselves over the last couple of days is what types of managers and how they manage their particular games. Some managers are out here just to win. Some managers are out here just to develop. There are some that are just balancing both ways. How would you classify yourself in that respect?
I think we're a balance. I think our goal here is to send these players back better than when they got here. And if they win, it's a bonus. Not that we don't try to win every game, but I mean, I don't want anybody hurt. I'm going to make sure that all my players play. I didn't bring guys here to sit the bench. They're going to get their at-bats. They're going to get their opportunities. And that's the way I've always been, even when I first started. And that's what I feel this league is for, is development, preparation. And if you do that, if you can create a great environment for them, the community creates a great environment for them, it's a comfortable situation to be in, there's a real good chance you're going to win games. And I think that's why Chatham has been so successful all the years, even when I was a player and before, because it's such a great community and you have such a great community basis, and the association, the volunteers, make it such a good environment for these kids. They will play well anyway, because they're all good players. There's no bad players in this league.
Final question, and then I'll let you go. How was your dentist appointment yesterday?
Wonderful. I'll leave it at that. Wonderful. I even brought him a Chatham A's shirt. It didn't work. It still hurt like hell. But we're on our way. The tooth is still surviving. But thanks for asking.
He's John Schiffner. I'm Aaron Canada. It's the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Go Anglers!